We'd been operating in Milford. Milford was the very first town to zone for adult use. For medical marijuana in Massachusetts. Some people don't know that, and so that was what attracted Milford to us in the first place. We've been operating there with a very low profile, so we don't have a retail outlet there. It's just manufacturing and cultivation there. Very nondescript building, no signage at the end of a cul-de-sac. Nobody really knows that we're there. And we thought that was good for us. Just don't disturb anybody. Just keep a low profile. It turns out that it was so good that a lot of folks actually didn't know we were there. And when they implemented this ban to ban all marijuana establishments in Milford, they didn't realize that they were hurting an existing business that had been there paying taxes and just doing its thing for the past 2 years. So there was a group of concerned citizens, and I think they were very politically active. They got together and they were like, look, okay, Milford is a town that passed Question 4 in 2016. So in order to ban marijuana establishments, they would have had to go to a townwide referendum. And then that townwide referendum, if voted in the affirmative, would have to be validated by their town meeting. And so they did that. They put it on the ballot, and we were sort of caught off guard. This was sort of late August of last year, and we sort of saw it as an existential threat to our organization because after looking at the lay of the land, we had expected to be medical for the foreseeable future. But when the adult use ballot initiative passed, we sort of recognized that was a pretty big threat to the medical only business model for a variety of reasons that we can talk about at some point if you'd like. So we figured we're going to stay medical, but we'd also like to participate in the adult use marketplace. And in Milford, we would have done it just for the same uses that we were there for, cultivation and manufacturing, but not for retail. We had never done retail and didn't really plan to do retail. These folks that were very adamantly against marijuana establishments were really primarily against recreational retail. But the way that they drafted their ballot initiative essentially excluded all recreational license types, including cultivation and manufacturing. And so we found out about that. We were sort of surprised. We tried to reach out to those folks. They weren't really interested in talking to us too much. I don't think they meant to do us harm, but they weren't going to go back and redraft their ballot initiative just because we were, chiming up. And their ballot initiative passed. And so they banned all recreational establishments, including cultivation and product manufacturing. At that point, we realized we had really only one option, and that was this thing had to be ratified at town meeting. And so we got up and we started a real concerted effort to talk to the community, talk to town meeting members. In Milford, it's a representative town meeting, which I think was fortunate for us because there's an ascertained number of individuals. It's not just anybody can go and vote. And so we engaged in a sort of a one-on-one around the kitchen table with a lot of folks who were sort of influencers and town meeting members and public officials in Milford. And we explained who we were. We said, look, this is what we are. This is what we've done. This is why we're taking this position. We don't necessarily want to sell retail, and we realize that's your primary goal is to eliminate retail. And we've been here for a long time, and we thought we were good neighbors. And in that process of sort of getting face time with our really quite vehement opponents, we ended up sort of changing folks a little bit. And we ended up striking a compromise where they said that they would be willing to put a footnote in their zoning bylaw, an amendment to their ballot initiative language that excluded from the ban existing operators for the uses that they had already been doing. So for us, that was cultivation and products manufacturing. And so it was really quite a dramatic turn of events, and it only happened about 48 hours before the town meeting vote. And the chairperson of the group that was really opposed to us and that we had been sort of fighting against for months, if you include the original ballot measure, she stood up on town meeting floor and she gave an impassioned speech that was sort of 180 degrees from what she had originally planned to do after we had engaged in those meetings. So I applaud her and the folks at Milford Cares and Citizens for Milford for recognizing that there was space to compromise. And it's really interesting because now we go into the community and we go to fundraisers and we give to charities and that kind of a thing, and we see these folks who are active, and they've always been active community members, and they're some of our best and most ardent supporters.